Hey, what's going on, guys? Football is here. It's currently Sunday morning, 7:49 a.m. Eastern time. And I wanted to do a video update on my picks that I sent out last week. I believe it was on Friday. So a little bit has changed since then. So instead of just sending out an email with an update, I figured I'd do a quick video here for you guys. So let's get right into it. All right, so my thoughts have changed a little bit about a couple of these players, but I'll talk about each one individually. So first up, we got my quarterback and wide receiver stack. We had Bortles with Keelan Cole. I talked about how Keelan Cole would be really popular. He's still going to be popular. Bortles' projected ownership is 1 to 3% between Fantasy Labs and Fanshare, two sites that I really like and I use for my ownership projections mixed with my own thoughts. So I kind of get an average of the three. And I'm kind of projecting Bortles to be about 3% owned in the big contests. Cole is projected around 21 to 25%, which is kind of where I think it's going to end up. Probably 20, 22 would be my guess, somewhere between there. So I still like Cole quite a bit, just given how cheap he is. He's the number one option there in Jacksonville, most likely. Doesn't mean he's going to get the most targets, but he is probably the number one option. So I do like him at that price still. I'll still be playing him quite a bit. I kind of reduced my shares of Bortles a little bit. I thought I'd have him in maybe 5 to 10% of my lineups for the Millie Maker. But after looking at it quite a bit, Bortles will be somewhat popular. Not somewhat popular, but a little more popular than I thought, maybe closer to 2 to 3%. And after thinking about it a little more, most of those lineups are going to have Cole in it as well. So it's not really for the Bortles lineups. If he does have a big game, everyone else who has Bortles will probably have Cole as well. So I kind of reduced my shares of Bortles Cole a little bit. When I'm going for the cheaper quarterbacks that I want to try to get at low ownership, I'm kind of trying to find a lower owned stack as well. So I do still like the stack. I'll still be playing the stack, but I kind of pivoted a little bit to another cheap quarterback that I'm going to be emailing out. So if you're not signed up for my email list, make sure you check out the link in the YouTube description. Get signed up for that. Emails are free. I'll be sending out that email update around 11 a.m. this morning. Next up, Payton Barbour, 4,100. Not too much has changed with him. I still like him as a lower owned play in big contests. He's going to be around 5% owned, it looks like. I don't feel safe with him for a cash lineup. I don't think I really talked about that in the video. He's 4,100. He's going to be low owned. So he's kind of more of a tournament play for me. So in the Millie Maker, when I want to try to get a lower owned running back in there, I like Barbour at 4,100, but you can see my tweet on the left-hand side of the screen there. These are all the cheap running back options for week one. So ownership's going to be spread out big time. A lot of value has come up. We got James Conner. We got Chris Thompson even. Looks like he's going to be full go for a pass catching back that can put up a big score. We got Freeman. We got Burkhead, who I like. So there's going to be lots of good options in this price tag. Still like Barbour. Don't feel safe with him in cash, but definitely do like him for the Millie Maker still. Next up, we got Emmanuel Sanders. So again, I put this video out last week, and I was guessing that Sanders would be, I don't know, maybe 10% owned or whatever, somewhat of a sleeper, but he's actually been talked about a ton with such a low total in this game. So I think the total's at around 42 points. I thought Sanders would be not talked about as much and kind of a little bit of a sneaky play at 5K, kind of mid-range price there. But his projected ownership's around 20%. So many people are talking about him, rightfully so, because he is a good receiver. But with that low of a total, I think it does make sense to kind of fade him a little bit. So I still like him. I don't want to fade him completely because that was one of my initial picks. I thought he'd be more of a sleeper pick. At 5K, I think he's a great price, so I'm still going to be playing him. I just don't like him as much as I did. I kind of thought if he was maybe 10% owned, he'd be a great play now in these bigger contests. If he's around 20% owned, I don't like him as much. So I still like him, just don't like him as much. And I will have another receiver around that price tag that I'll be emailing out. Again, make sure you sign up for those email updates. Lastly here, my tight end pick, Ben Watson, 3,100. Not too much has changed with him. I still think he makes a great tournament play at a cheap price. His ownership will be low. Lots of good tight ends out there. The injury, he was dealing with a bit of an injury. Doesn't look like it's an issue. Just haven't really gotten an update on that, so I'm going to continue to watch. But either way, if he is healthy, it's still a bit of a gamble. He's playing in his first game with the Saints, back with the Saints, and he's playing behind some good players, Thomas Kamara and Ted Ginn Jr. So it's a bit of a risky play. It's a bit of a gamble, but you got to take a shot when playing these big contests. I'll be taking a shot with Ben Watson, 3,100. Still think it makes a good play at tight end. So that's my email update, guys. Again, if you guys want to sign up for Fantasy Labs, I'll leave my link in the YouTube description below. Highly recommend it. That's where I do all my research for the week. Make sure you are signed up for my email updates. I will be sending out one at 11 a.m. So get signed up. Hopefully you're watching this before that time, so you can get signed up and get some extra picks that I've got coming out. Thanks again for watching. Hit that thumbs up button if you enjoy these videos. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Good luck this week. Hopefully one of you guys wins that million.